So we're peeling and slicing apples right now for our apple crisp. The apples that I'm using are actually Granny Smith apples. These are my favorite apple when it comes to baking and having to cook apples. And if you see that, I want to recommend not getting them in the bag. That's actually what I did, get them individually. So you're just going to peel it, slice it, cut it off. Make sure you don't get the core. Do a couple of even slices. We're going to go ahead and throw the lemon juice on here before it starts oxidizing too much and turning brown. Alright, let's get the rest of them done. So we just peeled and cored and sliced about 10 small, these are actually small Granny Smith apples. Like I said, they were in a bag. So I don't recommend getting the bag because they're so small. And some of them were already starting to kind of brown. But anyway, we went ahead and put the lemon juice on there so that they wouldn't start to oxidize and turn too brown. And we're just going to put cinnamon and sugar on top of the apples. Go ahead and mix it and coat them all with the cinnamon and sugar. But yeah, like I said, if you were using the larger apples, you wouldn't have to use so many and take all that time with the peeling and the coring and the, you know. So anyway. Alright, so everybody's covered. Cinnamon and sugar. Went ahead and you can butter your dish. I sprayed it with butter spray. And we're just going to go ahead and put those in the bottom of the dish. Try to spread them out as evenly as you can. Let me turn it this way. Maybe you can get a better view. All right, let's get this oatmeal butter and flour mixed together. So to my bowl, I have actually added, and like I said, it's not measured, so I've actually added some brown sugar, some oatmeal, just regular oats, flour, and cinnamon. I'm using my potato masher right now because I'm actually about to put some butter in here. So let me just mix this up real quick with the little potato masher that I have here. The potato masher that's not working, so we're going to use this spatula. Because that wasn't getting the job done. Alright. So anyway, we have the cubes of butter. And this is, I think, unsalted butter. Please don't use margarine. It just does not act the same. Just don't let me find out anyway. If I know you, that you're using some margarine in your banana, in your apple crisp. This may not work as well as I thought it would. So, if it's not going to work, I do know a plan B. So, we'll just use 2 knives and kind of scrape at it. Just use a knife and a fork and just kind of scrape through. This is the easiest way you're going to get it done if you don't have a, you know what, I could use the kneading tool in my mixer. But I don't want to do that right now because I've already got it in here. So we'll go ahead and get this crumbled down so we can get it put on the apples. Ooh, child. I finally got that butter to do what I wanted it to do. But honey, that's a workout. And my poor little fingers and arms can't handle it. So anyway, we got it done. Make sure your oven, and I should have told you before, is actually set to about 350 degrees. And I'm just going to take this mixture and sprinkle it all over the top of the apples. No particular way. It doesn't have to be perfect. Make sure you cover them as much as you can, of course. Like I said, I did not measure my oatmeal flour, brown sugar, and cinnamon. I just kind of put it in there because, I guess because I'm used to making it. And I just do it to my taste. It's going to get good and crumbly on top. I don't like mine to be entirely too hard. But you'll get a good crumble on top. Yeah, I know I'm just using this spatula because I'm on camera, right? Any other time I would have had my hand in there. Alright, so that's good. Alright, you're going to go ahead and, you're going to go ahead and put this in the oven. Like I said, you're going to have your oven set to 350. It's going to take you about 30-45 minutes with this until it's golden brown on top and bubbly, and we'll see it when it's done. So while my apple crisp is in the oven, I'm gonna get started preparing my Juicy Lucy, what some may call it. In my household, we're just gonna call it a stuffed cheeseburger. All right, I have here about 3 pounds of ground chuck, and I put nothing more than salt, pepper, and Worcestershire, however you want to say it. It's one of a hard word to say when cooking. I've seen that on most shows or anybody that's talking about cooking. But anyway, that's all I have in the bowl. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut some Colby and Monterey Jack cheese. Gonna cut some thick slices of that so that we can stuff it in our patties. Let me go ahead and get that cheese cut up now, and then we'll get started. So I got my cheese cut up, and we're just gonna go in here. I probably should have taken my bracelet and jewelry off, but we're just gonna go in here and mix the ground beef with our hands. I have a utensil for this, but as most of us know, we grew up putting our hands in there mixing the ground beef for burgers and meatloaf and things like that. So why change something that wasn't broken, right? What's the saying? If it's not broke, don't fix it. And like I said, there's salt, pepper, and Worcestershire in here. I think I may have actually added a little bit of onion powder as well, since I don't have onion in my actual burger. Now, because it's a stuffed cheeseburger, it's not going to have the things that I would normally put into a burger. Normally when I make my burgers, I pretty much make them like I make a meatloaf. I'll have the breadcrumbs in there. There'll be eggs in there, onions, bell pepper, all of that just for a burger. But because this one is just a basic stuffed burger or Lucy Juicy, whatever you want to call it, we're not going to do that. So salt, pepper, onion powder, Worcestershire. That's all we have in here. So now it's time to start stuffing. Now, I am just going to get me a good handful. This is how I do mine. I mash it. I always mash more in the center. And especially now because we're stuffing it. And I use my thumb here to give it its shape. So you get it perfectly round. And we can do one, but I want it cheesy. So let's do two. So we'll take some more, put on top of that. In a perfect world, we won't have an explosion of cheese everywhere. But you want to make sure you marry that meat together on the side, so you definitely won't have an explosion of cheese. There's your first one. And once again, I'm going to take a little meat, or ground beef, shall I say, mash in the center. So 1, 2 hunks of cheese. More meat on top. Make sure it's all incorporated and married together. Alright, let's go ahead and get the rest of these put together. Number 2 is done. Let's get the rest of them done and we'll get it on the grill. Okay, so everybody's pattied up and ready to go. I went ahead and put them on the griddle. This is just a basic griddle I may have got from one of the discount home stores. But anyway, this griddle I have sitting over 2 of the aisles on my stove. And we have it set to about medium heat because they are so thick and you want to make sure the entire burger cooks through. So we're going to go ahead and let these cook through, and I think we're going to go ahead and possibly maybe cut up some french fries or not, but anyway, let's go ahead and let these cook through so we can see the end result. Okay, so I decided to go ahead and do deviled eggs. So what I've done is actually boiled my eggs. Let me first give you a little tip in reference to boiling eggs and getting the perfect boiled egg. You want to just cover your eggs with water in the pot, and you want to put maybe a teaspoon of vinegar in the water. Once you do that, bring it to a boil. Once it's at a boil, turn your pot off, cover it, and let it sit for about 30 minutes. Guaranteed you'll get a perfect boiled egg every time. A lot of times you get eggs that are boiled too hard and you can barely get the shell off. So anyway, I went ahead and boiled the eggs, split them in half, and now I'm taking the yolks out. Now I'm just going to use my whisk and kind of smash my yolk a little bit. I decided to do deviled eggs because I haven't had them in a while. And I said, you know what? When you have, normally, look, this is so funny. Normally when I have too many eggs in the house, that's actually what I do. I'll go ahead and just make some deviled eggs out of them. Because I always get the 2.5 dozen container of eggs. And if it's on sale again, I'll get another one. And of course I don't have room for them all, so at that point, I guess I gotta make deviled eggs or just eat boiled eggs or do a heck of a lot of bacon. I want to apologize for the way I sound also. I think I'm actually coming down with something. I hope I'm not, but seems like I might be. But anyway, got that good and mashed. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of mayo to this. So it's not going to be much mayo because, as you can tell, I don't have a lot of yolk in there. So I'm just going to add, and again, I don't measure, so I'm going to start it off with just that. And I'm not only adding mayo, and that's why I said I don't want to add too much. Pretty sure y'all know that sound. We get into the bottom of the container here. And when I say bottom of the container, I'm talking about my mustard. I'm just going to put just a little bit of mustard in there. And then I'm going to put some sweet relish. Love, love, love sweet relish, in my deviled eggs. So that's that. So let's go ahead and see if we can get this all incorporated real quick. I guess you can tell I didn't do a lot, so I don't want it too soupy, too runny. Yeah, that's good. Now I was thinking of putting a little sugar in here just to kind of counteract that mustard. It won't be much, just a little. Y'all don't laugh at me, but I'm so much like my grandma. I actually have a sugar bucket. It's so funny. Uh-oh. Well, now we've torn up the freaking whisk. Well, we had a good run together, Mr. Whisk. I guess our time is over. Let's come with something else. Okay. Didn't expect that to happen. But hey, that's how you know this is real life here. So anyway, that's done. I'm glad it was pretty much done. Just wanted to incorporate that sugar in there. Got my little mini whisk out. Now, in a perfect world, we would actually take a, we would take the pastry bag or even a plastic bag and just put it in the plastic bag to put into the egg. I just want to taste this real quick. I don't think that's done. I think I actually want to have me a little more sugar in there. Alright, so we went ahead and added just a little more sugar so I can get it to the taste that I desire. Now I'm going to go ahead and start stuffing some eggs. As a matter of fact, before we stuff these eggs, my apple crisp is coming out, and I definitely want you guys to get a look at that. So let's get a look at this really quick. Hold with me. ready. And it's still bubbling. And it looks so good. It looks so good. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure you guys got a look at that. We're going to go ahead and move it out of the way and finish our deviled eggs. Let's move this to the side. So, like I said before, you may want to use a pastry bag if you have access to one. If not, do what I'm about to do. Just take your regular spoon, slide it on in there. And that's all it is. Just slide you a little in each one. Simple enough, right? There you go. And I always start out with a little in each one, because I don't know how much I'm going to end up with. There you go. So we'll go ahead and finish this. So I went ahead and got these guys finished. The only thing left to do now is sprinkle a little bit of paprika on top of them. I'm gonna be honest, guys. Somebody tell me why do we put paprika on our eggs and tuna? I've always been told it's just for garnish, because it doesn't really have a taste to it at all unless it's smoked paprika. Well, the one I have isn't smoked, so why do I put it there, you know? So those are our deviled eggs. They're done. The apple crisp is done. So now we're just waiting on those burgers, and they'll be done here in just a second. Y'all, peeling potatoes ain't my thing. I'm sitting here trying to peel this thing, and I got this old fancy peeler here. But anyway, we're about to finish peeling them, and we're going to go ahead and do some homemade french fries. I'm pretty sure everybody knows how to do homemade french fries, but since I'm making it with my dinner today, I figured I'd show you guys how I made mine. So, go ahead and finish peeling these. Go ahead and get them cut up, and we'll have some homemade fries. Making my french fries, and what I've done, I just cut my potato in half and just cut little slices out of it. No need to do it perfectly, because these are just homemade fries. And I'm going to just put it over into a bowl of lemon water, because once again, you don't want it to start oxidizing and browning. So I just put it over into a bowl of lemon water. Once again, just cut my potato in half. And real quick, just so you know, I was going to tell you what kind of potatoes I had, but I guess my son moved them, so I won't worry about it. Oh, I guess you guys couldn't see them. Let me cut this one. Alright, there we go. That's more like a chip than a fry, so we'll cut that one again. Yeah, all of these will be cut again. last one, and hopefully enough for the family. I think I'm gonna cook this one 3 times, given how wide the other one was. I have my fryer on, warming up. Yeah, it's still very wide. But yeah, I got my fryer warming up. And for those of you that are kind of skipping through and are just now hearing me speak, I want to go ahead and apologize now because I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. So that's why I'm not as perky as I would normally be. So yeah, once again, just slicing them up, putting them over into this bowl of lemon water. And it's just water with a little splash of lemon in it. 2 reasons. It's gonna clean any dirt that my son didn't get off of the potatoes, because I had him to clean them for me before I cut them and peeled them. But they still feel a little gritty. So we're gonna just put them over into this lemon water. Let them kind of clean off real good. Make sure they don't turn brown. And we'll put these into the fryer. Alright, so we have finally finished them. The cheese exploded and we lost a lot of it, but you can still see where we kept a lot of it. So here's your Lucy Juicy, or Juicy Lucy, I don't know how you say it. Homemade French fries. And yeah, that's it. So here in a minute, we'll plate up the apple crisp. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Love you lots. Bye-bye.